Welcome to Pistons Talk Podcast. Hope you guys are having a great night. In today's episode, what we'll be discussing is the Detroit Pistons versus New York Knicks Summer League game. I'll give you guys my reactions to that. We haven't done a post-game reaction show since the NBA playoffs in May. Man, I missed it. I miss doing post-game shows with you guys. If you're watching live on YouTube or you're an audio listener, I love doing post-game shows. Just a week of NBA games in the middle of July uh, kind of gets you excited and like really ramped up for basketball season because once you're third week in September, then you're really close to the NBA season. But we're only in July right now. But let's get into this post-game show, you guys. So let's go into the first quarter and we'll break down these quarter notes. And I wrote down 4 players to end the podcast that I'd like to discuss. So, first quarter, a couple of notes I took. Ron Holland looked aggressive. Defense looked aggressive. 5 turnovers that they forced very early on. Donis Jenkins, Bobby Clintman, and a lot of the Detroit Pistons in that starting 5 were looking to push the pace, get up the court quickly, set up their offense, and just play solid, sound defense. And I think it really messed with the New York Knicks because they really did not know what to do. I don't think they were ready for this game. They were not ready for the Detroit Pistons Summer League team to be that physically aggressive with them. And the turnovers kind of showed it in the first quarter, but both of these teams turned the ball over. The Detroit Pistons just executed more on the defensive end and then were hitting their shots. And I think that's why they won the basketball game tonight. But end the first, Pistons have a 21-15 lead against the Knicks going into the second quarter. The Pistons just continue to force turnovers on the Knicks. Knicks were very sloppy with their passes. Donis Jenkins took over in the second quarter, in my opinion. Him and Tolu Smith, 2 guys that are very familiar with each other. If you guys don't know who Donis Jenkins or Tolu Smith are, they are 2 out of the 3 Piston two-way players. They spent a majority of their time together in the Motor City Cruise. Donis is a point guard. Tolu is a center. But to me, I thought they were very important in the second quarter for helping the Detroit Pistons sustain the lead that they did have. And they end the second quarter with a 46-32 lead. Coming out of halftime, the Knicks came out aggressive. They were trying to get back into this game, and they got it within 8. Believe it or not, you look at the final score, you're like, this had to be a blowout the entire game. There's no way that the New York Knicks got it within 8, but they did very early on in the third quarter. Pistons take a timeout. Don't know what was said during that timeout, but they started to hit threes. Ron Holland hit back-to-back 3-pointers. And he was so aggressive in the third quarter. This was Ron Holland's game. Like, just straight up buckets, aggressiveness on both ends of the floor. 18 points, you guys, in the third quarter alone. And he really helped the Detroit Pistons get a huge lead to end the third quarter, 74-53. Going into the fourth quarter, the Knicks were waving the white flag. I think they knew that the game was over. The Pistons still had Bobby and Ron out there for a few minutes and Chaz, but they put in their second unit summer league guys on the roster like Sakai Ziegler, Dawson Garcia, and others. But Pistons win this game, you guys, 104-86. Now, I did mention at the top of the podcast, I did want to talk about 4 players in particular. Now, the 4 players I'd like to talk about is Ron Holland, Donis Jenkins, Bobby Clintman, and Chaz Lanier. We'll start with Ron Holland because you guys probably look at the box score. Ron had a double-double, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 3 steals, shot 8 out of 12 from the field, 4 out of 5 from 3, 8 out of 13 from the free throw line. This is exactly what you want your second-year player to look like in the summer league. You want a really promising rookie campaign from Ron Holland to go into this year and just dominate. You want him to look like the best player, and he was. He was the best player on the court between the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks. He was just so dominant. It looked like he was just a player out there that didn't really belong. He didn't really belong in the summer league, and that's what you want to see, right? I really liked his approach defensively to be aggressive, playing those passing lanes, defending his butt off, diving for loose balls, even though the Pistons were up almost as much as 20 points. The shot looks really good. It looks more fluid. He talked to the Free Press talking about what he's been working on. He says he's been working on his shooting, and he mentioned it's not so much his form that he thought needed work on. It was more of just like the way he lands. And if you just look at his fluidity, can't say that word 3 times fast. Um, it looks really smooth. Fred Vincent has been working a lot with Ron Holland, and you can tell. He just looked excellent tonight. I mean, if you're getting that type of production out of Ron Holland in year two, and you have JB Bickerstaff and this Detroit Pistons coaching staff, like if I'm a Piston fan, I'm actually feeling really good. I'm feeling really good about the Ron Holland pick right now because we all said like the jumper doesn't look broken. It looks like it just needs a little bit of tweaking. And he looked excellent tonight, you guys. Like you got to give him the MVP of tonight's game because I felt like he was the leader. He was a tone setter for this team. Had a putback dunk, and Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham loved it tonight. Dapped them up on the court, but outside of like the free throw numbers, like if you can get the free throw numbers a little bit higher, I think we're happy with Ron Holland and his progression, and I'm really excited to see what kind of role he does have this season with the Detroit Pistons. But he was the first player I did want to discuss with you guys tonight. The second player I'd like to discuss is Donis Jenkins. Now, you may be asking yourself, why do you want to discuss a two-way G League player? I think it's just worth mentioning his pace, his ability to score the basketball, and just being a connector out there on the court tonight. 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Um, I've been really impressed with him. I was impressed with him last summer league. You guys probably remember that. Covered a couple of his games with the Motor City Cruise where he's their starting point guard. He's just a really intriguing player. I don't know if there's a role for him on the Detroit Pistons. I'm just not entirely sure. Um, he might just be a two-way guy that the Pistons have just in case of emergency, in case there's an injury where you need more guard help. You have Donis Jenkins in the G League as an emergency provision. And, I just really like his game. I like his ability to get to the rim and, add rim pressure, make the defense actually guard him because he's very quick. And then just love the way he does play the game of basketball. And Bobby Clintman, feel like Bobby gets a lot of buzz, and I get it. He was a second round pick last year. Talk of summer league last year as well. Bobby just stuffs the stat sheet. Had 10 points tonight, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. The creation with Bobby is still there. He's a very gifted passer. He had a highlight reel behind the back pass to Tolu Smith, which NBA.com thought it was Tolu Smith passing to himself. They said Tolu with the behind back pass, but it was really Bobby. If you guys saw that, it's actually kind of funny. But Bobby had a okay game. I think there are areas for him to improve, but he does look a lot bigger. It looks like he has been in the weight room. He has bulked up. I think with him, I still have a little bit of concerns with the defense. Um, there are some rotations where he did a good job, but there are other rotations that he did miss. But that's to be expected for a guy that didn't really get to play too much last year with the Detroit Pistons. Spent most of his time in the Motor City Cruise, kind of developing that way. But he was taking the ball up the court. He was setting up the offense. He's just kind of a Swiss Army knife, and I'm very intrigued to see like what his role with the Detroit Pistons could be this year. Could it be a backup power forward? Could he spend more time in the G League? Can he crack the rotation? those trading Simone Fontecchio, maybe kind of give him a pathway to get more minutes. I'm hopeful because I do think there is an NBA rotational player in there. I just think he needs the right coaching. And I think this coaching staff could definitely get the most out of him. He just needs the minutes and he needs the opportunity. And I'm hopeful he does get that opportunity. And I think a lot of you guys are, pretty high on Bobby Clintman. As a player, I mean, just a 6'10" forward that can pass, shoot, um, defend. There's defensive potential there. It's just got to be a little bit more consistent on rotations. But other than that, I was really impressed with him tonight. And the rookie, Chaz Lanier, will end the podcast with him. So he had 10 points, shot 4 out of 11 from the field, 2 out of 7 from 3, and he had 4 assists. So this is what I'll say about Chaz, you guys. I felt like he was extremely nervous, and that is to be expected. You see it all the time in the summer league with rookies. When they first get out there, I think the nerves kind of get to them, and that's what I felt like with Chaz. He had a shot where it was a really long contested 2, and it rimmed. He had an air ball. Once that first 3 went in, I felt like the nerves kind of calmed down a little bit. There's a lot with him that I like. He's got the catch and shoot down. I think with him, he is going to be a project. Don't know how ready he will be to contribute with the Detroit Pistons this season, but I feel like the Pistons are very confident in his abilities to contribute eventually. Um, I just think it was nerves tonight. Don't take one game and kind of, format your opinions on Chaz Lanier. I think he is a rotational NBA player. I think there's a lot of promise. There's a lot of potential. You like the 3-point shooting. I think it was just nerves tonight with him. But overall, I thought it was a, okay game. Okay summer league debut for him. But those were just kind of the 4 guys that really popped off my screen tonight that I thought deserved mentioning. But again, Pistons win this game 104-86. They go 1-0 in the summer league. And the summer league is very weird. So in terms of playoffs, how they do it is you have to win games 1, but they also go by your win differential. So the Pistons won 104-86. So if the Pistons want to make the summer league playoffs and eventually compete for the championship, they're going to have to keep that differential high, you guys. Last year, I believe they were 2-3, and they just missed playing in the playoffs because their differential wasn't high enough for them to actually compete. But they play the Rockets, I believe, on Sunday, which that should be an interesting game going up against Reed Shepherd and some of the Rockets' younger guys over there. But let me know what you guys think of Ron Holland tonight. How we just dominated the summer league in his second season down there. Let me know what you guys think of Bobby Clintman, Chaz Lanier. Maybe there's a player I didn't mention you thought that did well tonight. We will see you guys on Sunday to recap the Pistons versus Rockets summer league game. Until next time, you guys, have a good night. And as always, go Pistons. Peace.